All right. Hey, good people. How y'all doing? Appreciate y'all joining me today. Thank you for showing up as usual. Let's have a good conversation today. Have a little bit of fun, of course, and have a good time with this Sunday dinner. We're still talking about what's happening in and around the company. I'm trying to get these settings never want me to be great. But I guess that's why I need to be consistent about coming to Sunday dinner, right? Because then I'll understand how to operate all of these different changes that navigate these different changes that continue to happen in and around this space. But thank you for being here. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if this is your first time at Sunday dinner. Give me a one in the comments if it's your first time. Give me a 10,000 if it's your 10,000 time here being with us at Sunday dinner. But I definitely appreciate everyone coming through. I can't even find my name up here. All right, there we go. All right. Ready. All right, we're gonna have us a good conversation here today. I promise. I promise. There we go. I got that. Tamiko, I see you in here. Can you take over letting people into the room? That would help me out. I can get rid of that particular part of my screen. All right. Greetings, everybody. Okay, I'm going to dive into my presentation. I'm going to try not to keep y'all all day. I know I say that every time, right? But it's definitely always fun having these types of having our discussions, right? Not necessarily these types of discussions. But I want to keep you informed on what is going on in and around the company uh as so far, right? As we continue on this mission to keep the company going, right? So I want to formally welcome you to Sunday dinner. Thank you for being here. Today's conversation is again another important one. This is not just the regular Sunday dinner, right? This is a family meeting about the future of urban intellectuals. And I want to start by saying something very simple, right? Thank you, right? Over the past few days, this community has really showed up. You shared, you donated, y'all prayed, you encouraged us, you sent messages, you made phone calls on our behalf, you brought people into the conversation. And because of that, we hit our emergency goal of $30,000 by Friday, June the 5th, right? And that's a pretty big deal, right? That's not small, it's not symbolic. It mattered, right? And that $30,000 gave urban intellectuals oxygen, right? And that was centered around our 300 plus people who were donating to support the mission, to save the company, to keep all of this alive. So it helped us keep the doors open. It paid the critical bills, and one of the biggest things it helped us to do was pay our warehouse and fulfillment so that the shipping can keep moving. It's really the oxygen of the company, right? So that means orders are going out, continue to go out, and no, there'll be no stoppage or anything like that. It means that customers will continue to receive their products, their flashcards, their books, their all the things that we provide as a company. That means the machine did not stop, right? So before I say anything else, I just want to make sure that I say thank you, right? From the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of our team's heart, we absolutely appreciate you. The community helped us avoid immediate shutdown, or at least delay, right? And the community helped us breathe. And the community is really helping us keep this work moving. But now I need to say the second part just as clearly, right? The $30,000 hit the emergency goal, but it did not fully save the company, right? It helped keep the lights on and it got us through that immediate danger and allowed us to handle, again, those urgent obligations. But the real goal is to save urban intellectuals is the next one, which is the 1,000 defenders by Juneteenth. That's our goal. We're going to tie that into our Freedom Day. So that's our next major marker and the next major rallying cry. So the campaign that this is the next phase of the campaign, right? The first 300 or $30,000 kept the lights on. This next $70,000 technically will really save the company, right? And if we can push beyond that and get to 150,000 or more, it gives us a real opportunity to rise from the so-called flames and begin to build towards Urban Intellectuals 2.0, which is a stronger urban intellectuals, a more connected urban intellectuals, a member supported urban intellectuals, and a company and community that does not just buy from us, but builds with us. We come a part of what we're doing and the mission that we're moving forward. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. The campaign, I want to talk about the memberships. I want to talk about the future. Where do we go from here? And the vision that we're going to lay out. And the role of this community, this community can play in helping urban intellectuals not only survive, but become what it is always meant to be. And let me explain where we are, right? Again, the first $30,000 was the emergency fund, right? So to keep the oxygen flowing. And that money was needed immediately to stop the bleeding and to keep things moving, right? So the obligations we use it for urgent obligations. We are paid up, everything is in full, right? So we are up to date. Again, one of the most important things was making sure that our warehouse was paid so as the orders and the shipment and fulfillment can continue to happen. It matters because we don't want our customers waiting unnecessarily, right? And we don't want people who ordered from us to feel like the company disappeared and isn't supporting them anymore. Isn't there a There used to be a way to turn off having to ask to come in. Anyway, but we didn't want people to feel like we were disappearing on them, right? We don't want the mission to stop at an operational level. So the first goal did exactly what it was supposed to do. It kept the work moving. But the next phase is different. The next phase is really about eliminating the bad debt that's choking the company. And if you've been following us on socials and the lives, I've been talking about this here and there. But I want to make sure, oh, I got to make you a co-host. Okay. I want to make sure that I speak it to y'all directly. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me make Tamiko a co-host. Bam. All right, got you. All right. Yeah, so I've been talking about this bad debt, right? I want to go into it a little bit. So I want to be very honest about it. Urban Intellectuals has revenue-based loans and other debt that are pulling money out of the business. The revenue-based loans are really the bad debt, right? They are siphoning cash flow, they are choking profitability, and it's one of the biggest reasons that we're in this position, right? But the truth is, those loans were not, if those loans were not in place, we'd be in a much stronger position today. We'd actually be profitable, right? And that's how heavy this debt is. That is why the next phase matters so much, right? So this next $70,000 is not random. It's not just some big number we pulled out of thin air. It's the money that helps us wipe the bad debt and remove the weight, open up the cash flow, and really give urban intellectuals a chance to stabilize. So that's really saying it plain, but maybe you don't fully understand what a revenue-based loan is, right? So let me just give you a couple of examples, right? So what happens in revenue-based loans is they expect if you have good cash flow in the business, meaning if you have good amount of sales revenue coming in, companies will offer you these revenue-based loans because they can see the influx of money coming. And the idea is, all right, for every dollar that comes into the company, we're going to take 25 cents before anything else happens. So if we sell something for $100, they'll take $25 off of the top, right? That's before advertising expenses, before cost of goods, before shipping, before payroll, before overhead, before anything else hits that $100, $25 is already gone. And this is what's really hampering our progress, which is really hampering our cash flow, right? And profitability. Now, you might be saying, well, why did you take out the loans in the first place? Because we were trying to keep the lights on, right? In the past, right? So this has kind of been a carryover that we just haven't been able to wipe out, right? We'll get them down and run into a situation where we'll need them again, right? So now with this campaign, we're hoping to get past that altogether. But the first $30,000 say helped us survive the emergency. The next 70 will help us breathe. So that $100,000 goal really saves the company, and the $150,000 is really a bigger vision about the rebirth of the company and where we're going. So that's where we are. Let me talk about how we get there, right? So we're asking our 1,000 defenders by Juneteenth. 1,000 people at $100 gets us there, and that for that $100, right? It's not just a straight donation to the company. You receive 100 days of access to our Black History education programs. You can choose the adult program for the Sankofa Circle. That's what we call our adult program. Or you can choose the children's program, the Sankofa Club. That's what we call our children's program. If you give $200, you can choose both, right? But every donor at any amount, even $5, gets invited to our Juneteenth event that's happening virtually here on Zoom. All right. Hey, Joey, how you doing? Appreciate you showing up. Always. Joey's a great supporter. I definitely appreciate you. 'Cause I see you on the lives when I'm on YouTube or Facebook or whatnot. So I definitely appreciate that. But I just wanted to mention that because this is not just a donation. This is value for value. And this is to support the mission. It's also an invitation to the work. Because moving forward, the future of urban intellectuals can't only be built on physical products. The flashcards matter. Look, the books matter. I definitely agree. The playing cards, the games, all of these things matter. The materials that we create, people love and they matter. But physical products create costs, right? And inventory and shipping and warehousing and fulfillment and materials, logistics, customer service, and all these costs have gone up. So, and this is part of what got us here, right? So as we rebuild, the membership has to become core engine of the company. Which is why for your donation, we want to invite you into the membership so that you can see what is actually happening behind the veil, behind the curtain, or behind the shield inside of the company. You can see the work that we're doing, and hopefully you love the work that we're doing, and you want to continue to not only be a donor, but to be a member moving forward. Again, whether that's putting your children or your grandchildren, even great grands into our Sankofa Club, or you sticking around inside of the Sankofa Circle and engaging our world changers inside of that program. Again, the Sankofa Circle is for adults, the Sankofa Club is for children. But Black History education week after week is really what we're offering, right? Adults learning, discussing, questioning, and connecting history to what is happening right now. Children learning who they are, where they come from, and why their history matters. That is where the stability of the company comes from. The products create transactions and gets people introduced to what we're doing, but the membership creates stability. Community creates the movement. So when we talk about defenders, we're not just talking about people giving money at one time. We're talking about people who are willing to prioritize Black history education in their homes. See, that's the bigger call here. We need defenders who say, Black history matters in my home. Black history matters for my children. Black history matters for my grandchildren. It matters for my own understanding. It matters for how I see the world. It matters for how I understand politics, economics, culture, power, and the present moment. Because history is not just about the past. History gives clarity to the present. History gives direction to the future. And as Dr. John Henry Clarke always says, never discuss a situation till you understand how it came to be. It's one of my favorite quotes. And that's one of the deepest truths that we carry in this work. You cannot understand where you are if you don't understand how you got here, right? We cannot understand the present if you don't understand the past that produced it. And that's why urban intellectuals exist. That's why we create our products. That's why we do the classes. That's why we create the reels around current events. That's why we're doing long form conversations now. I don't know if y'all have seen this. We're starting to release the longer form conversations as well. That's why we're bringing Sunday dinner back. That's why we're building our memberships because history cures ignorance. And when our people understand history, we move differently. We vote differently. We parent differently. We build differently. We question differently. We organize differently. We understand power differently. We understand ourselves differently, right? And right now, with everything happening in this country and around the world, our people need clarity. And that is why this work cannot disappear. And I want to talk to you about the future because I don't want this conversation to only be about crisis. Right? We're going to use the crisis as an opportunity. Yes, we're in a real fight. Yes, the company has been in danger. Yes, we need your help. but Urban Intellectuals is not a company with no future. Urban Intellectuals is a company with a powerful future if we can get through this financial moment and rebuild the foundation the right way. So, what does Urban Intellectuals 2.0 actually look like? Well, one, it looks like stronger memberships, right? So I've been talking about the Sankofa Circle, the Sankofa Club have to become the heartbeat of the company. And we're not even talking about Sankofa Legacy Program, which is out there as well as part of one of our memberships. We'll get to that in the future. But we need 1,000 defenders to say yes, right? But beyond that, we need 1,000 active members learning with us, growing with us, building community with us. And that recurring membership base keeps us stable. That gives us the ability to create without always being trapped in emergency mode. That gives us the ability to hire teachers, to hire more staff, to produce content, to support the community, and to keep developing products people want and need. Second, it looks like Sunday dinner coming back consistently, right? Sunday dinner is not just a Zoom call, right, y'all? This is a gathering space. It's a family meeting. This is where the community can talk, learn, debate, share, and build together. We need more of that, right? And it doesn't look like Freddie talking and lecturing every Sunday, right? It's really a more involved and engaging conversation overall. We're just taking advantage of this opportunity to build and connect with you right now because of this moment that we're in. I'm hoping soon we can just get back to our typical Sunday dinner engagements. But third, it looks like more current event content tied to history. So we're already starting to do this with some of our new short form content that is coming out. When something happens in the news, we want to help our community understand it, understand the history behind it, not just to react emotionally, not just to argue on social media, but to understand how did we get here. Because when you understand history, you can see the pattern. So we want to make sure that we're pushing that conversation forward. Fourth, it looks like more long form conversation. So we want to dig deeper. We want to bring in historians, teachers, museum owners, and museum curators and authors, elders, youth, and cultural workers into the conversation. Because we need to create a platform where serious Black history education can live, breathe, and reach people all over the world. Fifth, it looks like engaging the youth more directly. We need to put young people in front of the elders. We need the elders to see that the future is in great hands because we need the youth to know that we believe in them, we support them, we expect greatness from them. I know a lot of times our young people, they just all we see is the bad, right? It's kind of as a developing elder, right? I got enough seasoning in my beard to be an elder, right? But as a developing elder, we often just see the worst in our young people. That's what's presenting. They're only time they're talked about or celebrate or yeah, only time they're talked about is when something is going wrong. We miss all the celebrations. We miss all the greatness. We miss all the intelligence. We miss all of the positive interactions with not only themselves, but how they're engaging the world. So we have to do a better job of putting more of them in front of us so we can say, oh man, we gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. They not like I thought they were, right? It's almost like it's almost like we get a view of our young people that the rest of the world gets a view of Black and African people. We get the worst. We only get to see the worst. The media lens is only curating the worst of us to the rest of the world, amplifying that when we know that's a lie, right? And that's really what we're standing on as a company is dispelling that myth, not only in the minds of other people, but in the minds of our community. So the same with the young people, right? We have to put them in front of us more often so you can see the greatness that is in them. And that brings me to this brother Hapson Habib, right? I want to tell this story. I didn't think about this. Where can I pull this image up? All right, so this is on the fly, y'all. So don't get me. I didn't think about sharing his image, but I want to talk to you about this young man, Hapson, and you should be able to see that. And yeah, I just got to tell this story, right? So this is part of the future of urban intellectuals too, by the way. So when I was in Sierra Leone during my dual citizenship journey, oh, hold on, I know I can do. All right, check me out. Okay. Okay, I'm getting there. Thought I could make it bigger. All right, that's messing it up. All right, I ain't gonna do too much. All right, but when I was in Sierra Leone doing my dual citizenship journey a couple of years ago, I met this young man named Hapson Habib. He was one of our guides while we were there. And from the beginning, you could tell this young man was special, right? He was intelligent, he was hardworking, he was thoughtful. He made stuff happen. He loved his family, he loved his community, he loved the country of Sierra Leone. He carried himself with purpose and he had a dream. He wanted to go to the university, he wanted to study finance. His bigger dream was to become the minister of finance in Sierra Leone. He met the minister of finance when he was 10 years old, and the minister told him that he could be the minister of finance if he put his mind to it. And he never forgot that dream, right? So during my 2 week journey, I'm learning all of this. His problem was money, right? That's money's typically the problem for most of us, right? And that's and I want you to hear how wild this is, y'all. It costs 1,000 American dollars to attend the university for 4 years. $1,000, $250 a year. That is, and that is what it would take to change the entire trajectory of his life. But for him, that was almost an impossible raise. He talked about how if you didn't have a rich uncle or someone who could help, sometimes the opportunities they just don't come, right? And then I met his mother, right? I saw where the family was from. I was in the village. We're talking no electricity, no lights, no luxury. But somehow in the middle of that, they raised an outstanding young man. And I knew we had to do something. So instead of just giving him $1,000 ourselves, we turned to the urban intellectuals community. We told Hapson's story. I showed the pictures. I should have had all of those queued up, right? Of me and Hapson in Sierra Leone. But the community responded. We raised $4,000 for him, and we did it intentionally because we knew the tuition was not the only cost, right? We knew he would need transportation. We knew he would need somewhere to stay near the university. We knew he would need food. We knew he would probably need to support his family and his mother too. And that's exactly what happened. He bought a motorcycle so he could get back and forth to the university. He was able to get a place near school. He started studying finance at the University of Sierra Leone, and now he just sent me this news this morning that he's been elected student president in the Mayamba District Student Union. That's powerful, right? This is what happens when a young person just needs a chance. And I have no doubt in my mind that Hapson is going to become something incredible. I believe he's going to become the Minister of Finance in Sierra Leone. I believe he's going to do excellent work while he's there. And I'm proud that that urban intellectuals in our community got to be a part of his journey. That is what that is the kind of impact we want to keep creating. Urban intellectuals is not just about products, it's about connection, it's about opportunity, it's about history, it's about the diaspora, it's about building bridges, black people here, and black people across the world. It's about seeing a young man with greatness in him and saying, we believe in you enough to invest in you. I almost shared his comments. Like I'm gonna keep those personal, but he just said, "Thank you for believing in me," right? But that is the future. And then something else powerful happened this week, right? Let me see. How am I gonna do this? I didn't plan none of this out very well, y'all. But that brother Hampson is something special, man. I really appreciate that young man and all that he is doing. As I'm talking, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this next part. 1 second, chill. I'm in the room. Yeah, but that young brother there is something special, right? And I'm really excited to be a part of his journey, or just to keep watching him grow over time, right? Every time he gives me an update of what's happening, he's definitely doing us proud. So I got to do a better job of sharing with y'all his development and as he continues to grow. But I promise he is locked in and laser focused, and he's doing some great things, y'all. So I keep make sure I keep y'all posted on that moving forward. Here we go. This is what I wanted. I don't know how to make this bigger. All right. Here we go. All right. So I got a second surprise for you. Here we go. Hey, Georgia, how you doing in Virginia Beach? Bam. All right. Okay. All right. So and then something second happened. Anybody watch The Shy? Give me a comment. Give me a yes or no in the comments. You ever seen the television show The Shy? You ever seen that before? Is that a thing? Is that a thing out here in our community? Are y'all watching The Shy? I hear some wonderful things about it. I haven't caught many of the episodes. I know it's in season 8, and it's doing numbers, y'all. So this is supposedly the final season, but you know if something got 8 seasons, they're doing something pretty good, right? So if you're not watching it, or if you are, I need you to turn on the June 4th edition, episode 3, season 8, because how about this? Our Black History flashcards were featured on The Shy, right? Season 8, episode 3. Now we had to keep this quiet for months, right? They reached out to us what seems like a long time ago, and they requested the Black History flashcards. Um, they asked us not to say anything until the episode was released, which y'all, if y'all know Brother Freddie, y'all know Brother Freddie can't really hold water, y'all. Anybody out there know that to be the truth? Don't be saying that. If y'all do know that, y'all need to lie with me. Stick with me on this one, right? Brother Freddie don't be holding water very well. But they asked us to say not to say anything until the episode was released, and now it's out. We can finally say it. Urban Intellectual Black History flashcards has been included in The Shy, right? This is absolutely huge. The Shy is not just any show, it's a major show inside of the community. People watch it all the time, they talk about it. It has cultural relevance. And to see one of the characters engaging our Black History flashcards is very powerful. Of course, it's emotional for us, but it's affirming because it reminds us again, this work still matters. This work is still being called into the cultures. Urban intellectuals is still relevant. Urban intellectuals is still needed. Urban intellectuals is still being placed in front of larger audiences. So I don't want the community to misunderstand where we are, right? We are not asking you to support something that has no future. We're asking you to help protect something that's still growing, that's still being recognized, that's still being invited into the culture, and still doing the important work. Oh, wait a minute. We're doing important work, right? I already got that. I knew that was coming in there, right? We're doing important work, right? There we go. Um, we are in a difficult financial moment, but we're not out of ideas. We are not out of relevance. We are not out of purpose. We are not out of impact. We just need to survive this moment to rebuild the foundation correctly. That's why 1,000 defenders by Juneteenth matters so much because this number changes the story. This is the number that allows us to deal with that bad debt, the number that allows us to open up the cash flow, and the number that really allows us to prioritize the memberships, the number that allows us to strengthen the Sankofa Club and the Sankofa Circle to make them even better. And that number allows us to bring back Sunday dinner, to create more and more content and classes and conversations and youth engagement and elder conversation and more events, more partnerships, and more opportunities to support young people like the good brother, young Hafsin Habib. Uh, if we're given the proper support, right? As a community, together we can do so much more, right? And then after that, we'll shoot for the 150,000 and let the vision and let's really begin building the vision towards Urban Intellectuals 2.0, a platform for historians, a platform for museum owners and curators, a platform for cultural educators, a platform for families, for children, and for adults who know they were never taught enough. A platform that connects our history to our current reality. A platform that reminds the world that Black history is world history. It's a history everyone deserves to know more about. This is the vision, but we cannot build the vision without stabilizing the foundation. So here's what I'm asking you today. If you have already given, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you can give again, please do. If not given yet, please, this is the time. If you can give $100, please become a defender. That gives you 100 days of access to the Black History education programs for adults or children. If you can give $200, you can get both. If you can give 500 or 1,000, you're helping us move there faster, and you can give away the access to friends and family around you. If you can give $5, $10, $25, $50, all of it helps. Every dollar's matter. Every share matters. If you can't give, please share the program. Please share the movement. Tamiko, can you drop the link down in the comments? You're always a step ahead of me. Uh, uh, but every introduction matters. Every media connection matters. We really need to ramp up our media blitz this week, this coming week. That's really going to be the major push to help get the people out. Because we know we got 1,000 people inside of our community that would support us at this level. They just not aware of it, right? Sending the emails, everyone doesn't open them. I know, shame on them, right? Everyone doesn't open the emails, but that's why we need to gain some additional leverage to get the word out even further. Am I not on camera? Okay, I'm good. Yeah, so that's where we're going. But every organization matters, every church, every D9 group, every HBCU, family chat, group network, business circle, all of these things matter. But more than anything, I need us to understand the larger as become a defender, right? Prioritize Black history education in your home, in our community, keep the work alive that we're doing. But don't let our history don't let the only history your children receive come from schools that may or may not value it at all. Do not let Black history adults receive what the only Black history that adults receive be whatever shows up on social media, unless you're following us, right? Be intentional, right? Study with us, learn with us, discuss, teach, pass it down. This is what we are building. Urban Intellectuals is a company, yes, but it's also a mission. It's also a platform. It's also a community. And right now, it needs defenders. The emergency goal kept us alive. The 1,000 defenders helps us save the company. And 100 and at the 1,500 level, the vision really begins to rise into our future. So today, I want this Sunday dinner to be real conversation. I wanted to lay out exactly where we are. I wanted you to hear. I wanted to be clear about what the first $30,000 did. I wanted to explain what the next $70,000 and why it matters. And I wanted to talk about our membership focus moving forward. I wanted to talk about the future of Urban Intellectuals 2.0. I wanted to celebrate my man Hafsan Habib, right? I wanted to celebrate the fact that we made it to the Shy. I wanted to remind us that this work is still powerful. And now I want to hear from you, right? What does it mean for you? What do you want to see from Urban Intellectuals, right? What do you want us to become? How can we strengthen the membership? Who should we reach out to? What historians, museums, educators, organizations should be a part of this next phase? What does Black history education look like in the home for you? Who is willing to stand with us between now and Juneteenth? Right? I got a lot of questions, right? We're just throwing it out, opening in discussion because we hit the emergency goal, but now we got to fight for the future, right? We kept the lights on. Now we got to save the company. And we survived the immediate danger, and now we need to rebuild Urban Intellectuals into a place our community deserves. So I just want to say thank you again. I definitely appreciate all of y'all. We love you. We appreciate you. And now let's open it up for some discussion to see what's on your mind. Do you have any specific questions for me? You got any thoughts, any concerns? Did I not cover everything? Did I gloss over anything? I am trying to be an open book. That is always tough, but it's definitely worth it. I definitely appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. I didn't do too bad on time. All right, I'm doing good, doing better than I thought I'd be at. Hopefully the company will get some traction and support from exposure. Yeah, being on the Shy. Thank you, Asa. Yeah, we're definitely pushing forward. If you have any thoughts or comments, let me know. You can go ahead and raise your Zoom hand. We can get some typical Sunday dinner conversation going. Only if y'all want to participate. Now, we know Sunday dinner. I've been talking at y'all, but Sunday dinner is really more of a community-based discussion. Give me a one in the comments if this is your first Sunday dinner. Do we got any like newbies here that's never been to a Sunday dinner? I'm more curious than anything. This isn't a setup. I'm not going to drag you on camera. Well, we're not physically together, so I can't drag you anyway. So, do you have the shy short clip that we can share on all media platforms? Um, we're trying to work that out. I'm trying to get it officially from them, right? Rather than just screenshotting it and and bootlegging it. But I'm trying to get the okay first. But I definitely got the clip. I just want to try to make sure it's okay to use, right? That's what I'm thinking. All right, I saw a hand up. Well, I missed it. I think it was Joy. All right, but that was a great question, Georgia. I thank you for that. First Sunday dinner. Hey, Rosalind. All right. Thank you for joining us. First Sunday dinner. All right, Benita. Okay, welcome, y'all. I appreciate y'all coming. And showing up, at least hearing about what's going on inside of the company and hopefully becoming one of our defenders and hopefully sharing and defending this work. But this space for my newbies and for my people who maybe haven't been here for a while. Let me see. Have you considered becoming a nonprofit? Some of them allow for profits from selling goods. Allow. Thank you for that, Joey. Yes, it's on my list to form a nonprofit to work in tandem with urban intellectuals, right? So now I probably need to ramp that effort up, but definitely something that we have considered. First Sunday dinner. Hey, Kathy. All right. Appreciate you joining us. So the idea, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, we're in alignment, right? We're in alignment, right? So we definitely we got to build back to where we need to be so I can bring on the staff to handle all of that paperwork and that follow up and that follow through while we stay focused on building the mission out on this end. So thank you for that reminder. But for my newbies, that's first time to Sunday dinner. Typically, we're not talking about crisis and saving the company, right? That's typically not the talk. But I mean, that's just the season that we're in right now and the opportunity that we have. But typically, Sunday dinner is exactly what you're probably thinking about, right? Going to grandma's house on Sundays so that you can commune with the family. You sit around and have a meal and have some conversation about what's going on in the world, current events, what's happening in the family, and eat over a good meal, right? We often talk about my favorite is sweet potato pie, right? So grandma's sweet potato pie was always what made me couldn't wait for Sunday dinner. But woo, we going to grandma's house. I know she gonna make me like I'm the only person sitting at the table, right? She made me some sweet potato pie. But I love it. The macaroni, the collard greens, like all of the foods, right? So we're using that nostalgia to come together with our virtual family, our virtual community, and have discussion around our issues in the community, current events, things that are happening, and sometimes just some outright fun, right? A lot of us are I think where it really comes from is community or human interaction, right? Is down across the board, right? And social media makes it so much easier to just doom scroll your day away. But this gave us an opportunity to come together and talk about some things that matter, learn from one another. Sometimes we'll bring in an expert or one of our historians to come in. We'll have a deeper conversation as we continue to grow this thing. I want to bring in some experts, right? But I don't want to do like a typical talk show, right? Like, bring out a couple of guests, we have some banter, y'all listen, then everybody go home. I want to make sure that it's still an opportunity for the community to be heard, for the people to be heard, for the family to be heard, right? So we got a lot going on in the world today, right? Sometimes you just need to exhale, and everyone doesn't have a outlet or a group of people that are willing to have deeper level conversations about what's happening in the world beyond just blaming folks for this or that or yelling and screaming or talking about some celebrity gossip or something like that. Which, hey man, all of that stuff has its time and place. I'm not gonna say act like I don't gossip because I do, because I be watching. Y'all heard that? I be watching the Knicks play San Antonio, right? I mean, that's celebrity gossip if you think about it. That's what sports are, right? They're all we're all watching millionaires run around on a basketball court and do reality television, right? Called a basketball game. So yeah, I mean it's no different than anybody else. But there's a time and a place, right? And sometimes you have some fun with it all. With that being said, any Knicks fans in here? Give me I'm assuming y'all not even saying Knicks in six anymore, right? I know all the Knicks fans are talking sweep now. Like it's all about a sweep now. Um, yeah, so first Sunday down. Okay, all right. Yes, okay, that I got that. Hey, Gwen, oh, how you doing? Come on into the conversation. Save me from going down this sports rabbit hole.
Okay. Hi everybody. Hi Freddie. I just wanted to say at this time, I just wanted to say I don't know if she said it, but today is Dr. Anita Lewis's birthday. So happy
Oh,
birthday.
she did not say it.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. Well, happy birthday, Doc. All right, Dr. Anita is Gwen's partner in history crime. That's probably terrible to say that way, but
Yeah, it was. But anyway.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so I just wanted everybody to know that we celebrate her and we're thankful for her and her um, diligence and attendance
Yes.
and being uh, inviting me to join with her on the Guinness World Record experience. And it has been an experience. So just wanted to say happy birthday.
Yes, yes. Happy birthday, Dr. Anita. Hey, Gwen, while you here, can you just explain the Guinness World Record attempt again?
Oh, okay. So we did the Guinness World Record on February 27th to 28th. It was 31 hours and 29 minutes of continuous teaching of African American, and diaspora history. And we were thankful that we got a lot of press. The information went all over the world, really. And we we have submitted for them to review our evidence. There were so many little glitches and so many behind the scenes story that it would take all of this time to tell, but we finally were able to. Dr. Lewis worked really hard on pulling things together, and we were able to submit about 2 weeks ago. So it will be still a long journey because we were hoping to do a fast track evidence review, and then we would find out if we were certified. But that is down. So the long track is about 3 months plus. So right now we're in the 3 month plus time. But as soon as we can get to the fast track. A lot of people don't know that anybody, if you have anything, I know you've seen Guinness, and there is somebody jumping rope for 2 billion times, and they try to get a record, but there's a lot of money that they do not pay. It's to get the recognition of a world record, but there is no money given to the winner. I think you even have to buy. I think they give you one plaque, and then you have to buy everything else if you want to. If you after you're verified. But the whole process is you have to put out some quite a bit of money, and we did. We put
Mm.
out quite a bit of money for this. But I think if more people knew the process, especially more Black people, if we knew the process, then we could help one another if people wanted to achieve that. And then, of course, you know me, I was thinking, oh, we need to establish a world record organization of our own so that when we want to do world record things that's never been done before, we can. But we did, Dr. Lewis and I did establish a world record. We did. All right. So let me just explain. So the world record that we were trying to beat was 26 hours of history. Uh, the category was the longest history lesson, and the person who has that title now taught 26 hours of Texas history. And Dr. Lewis thought that she wanted to do one, but when she started coming to our classes, and this is a promo about the classes. I mean, somebody might have an idea in their mind, but because of our classes, she decided she wanted to do it on Black history. And she and I really connected so well. I've been to her lovely home and in Texas because my son lives there. While I was visiting there in 2024, we uh, had a wonderful time together. So we came together and we started at the end of, near the end of 2025, near the middle of 2025, she invited me, and near the end, we started working on it. So it took a lot of work. We had 595 pages of information, and so the other pieces we beat the 26-hour record, and we did 31 hours and 29 minutes. But after you beat the record, if you don't have somebody right there from Guinness to award you, then you have to submit all of your material. And some of our material had some glitches in it. So we had to do what we needed to do to get around the glitches to submit. So it took us almost from February to last week, May, to just get around the glitches. But you have a year from the time that you make application. So like I said, it's a process. But you do have a year from the time you make application to the next year for you to submit. So we're in good timing for our submission. And we're also, so the record we're hoping to get from Guinness is the longest history lesson, because we had we went back, well, really went back further than 5,000 years, but we said 5,000 years of African American and diaspora history. But we're going for another record with a lesser known company that does world records too, and it's the Atlas World Record. And they just awarded the world record for the furthest group of people, for the people who went the furthest in space altogether. And that was the astronauts who just came back from space.
Mm.
So we're going for that record. And but the record there will be different from the longest history lesson. The record there will be the first and longest African American and diaspora history lesson, um, a continuous history lesson. So we beat the record that the man had, and then we made a record in terms of teaching African American and the diaspora history longer than anyone else continuously has ever taught. So we're going for that record too. So it's been a journey, but a lot of lessons learned, as life will give you. A lot of lessons to be learned and then to be applied to your life. So I think that's in a nutshell. I think I covered it all. So right now we are in wait mode for Guinness, and um, uh, the other application for the other record will be submitted soon. So that's what that's what all of that was about. But let me just say this: and on all applications. Well, I'm gonna throw this in. We actually went for another organization called the World Record Academy. But the person at the World Record Academy when asked for a lot of money. And that wasn't the norm that most of the world records have asked for. So when we went for clarification, when we wrote back for clarification and itemization, uh, their response was unprofessional and borderline. Uh, it was definitely borderline abusive and rude, but almost borderline racist as well. So we said we were not going to go any further with that organization, and we're going to be looking up the person who's in leadership. It did not have the kind of recommend. It did not have the information, a good report on the Better Business Bureau. It had a C rating, and that was because somebody had applied there and actually paid $3,990 and got nothing. And the record that they did have with the company, they deleted. So, so what I would say to everybody is with everything these days and times, you don't know the nature of the person you're dealing with. So please do your due diligence, whether you're looking at reviews, even if you're on Amazon, always look at the reviews of products, everything. And we did kind of a backdoor due diligence with that company. So there are not a lot of world record companies, but they all act independently. So that's the other thing. So if you get a world record in one company, doesn't mean that somebody else can't come and get a world record in your same category in another company. But the last company, Atlas, they're going to try to look and see, do a little bit more comparison, so that if they say it's a world record, then it's a true world record throughout all of the companies. And then I was getting ready to say, what makes this so important? And what made this so important to us is as they try to erase everything about us, we were trying to lay the track with everything that we could possibly lay the track with about our history, because we have a glorious history. We are a magnificent people. And we wanted the world to know. And the Guinness being having the Guinness World Record would promote that. And again, we thank Urban Intellectuals for putting it on YouTube. Unfortunately, because it ran over 12 hours, they erased it. They said they erased it. Now somebody was saying, oh, nothing gets erased off the internet, but you don't want to go and do anything that would, be detrimental. So they erased it. And then we had a problem with our audio. So it was so interesting that even though we were trying to do this, it seemed like everything was trying to close our voice. And so I'm going to tie this in with Urban Intellectuals. Um, yes, Freddie's tried to be very transparent about process and progress and going forward. But even thinking, just think about it. Even now, something is trying to be taken away again from us in terms of our history, in terms of who we are. So that is the red flag to tell us that what is coming, what we can do, what the possibilities are for us is so tremendous, will make such a, I believe, spiritually beautiful change to this world, that everything is trying to keep that from happening. Because of all the times, the erasure had slowly begun, but now it seems to be a fast track. And even in this experience with the Guinness, I mean, we went from the beginning of time to the present, and for all that information just to be wiped out and not even considered, well, this is, really good. Maybe we can just show 12 hours on YouTube. And then to not have sound at all by some glitch. It was just interesting, but thank goodness we had clips that were able to send. But this is the time to make sure that we have and make sure that the lessons that are given for urban intellectuals continues, that this company remains and continues. Freddie said he's going to do a 2.0. So I'm just going to take the time down that I was going to say all this later. Freddie said he was going to do a 2.0. I think that means that not only doing a 2.0 with the business, but each and every one of us who are part of the business, we all need to be transformed and renewed and strengthened, because what we do, whatever your belief is, this is God's work. We are to tell our people who we are. There are videos now on YouTube that are just stating this. I just watched one. It was just so beautiful about who we are and what we're supposed to do. But it went back in the history again, and when you know your history, you know not just the negative things of what we've been through, because that's all we talk about a lot of times. Yeah, we've been through worse than this. Oh yeah, we've been through it, but we have also ruled the world in various times, at various times, and in various places. We have also given the world most of the things that we use, thermostat, mop, lawnmower. I could just sit on here and name for an hour. So, and these things have already been taught on urban intellectuals, and we keep teaching. I keep finding more and more things to teach about. We even in the Guinness, we did the diaspora, but we didn't go into Canada. So I just finished a series about the migration to Canada and the Black settlements that were in Canada. So and some are still in existence. So what I'm saying to all of you and all of us is that we have to renew our minds. Yes, we're going through right now, but there should not be any time, place, or space that we stop and see ourselves as just surviving. We don't need to be just even thriving. We need to be victoriously going forward, and that's what we have to get in our heads. We have grabbed onto the slave scenario, but we were much more than that before, and we need to continue to do the magnificent things that we can do and do what we can. Just like I said, when we were working on the Guinness, I was saying, well, we need to have something of our own. And so many times people have dreams. So many times people take the time and say, oh, we should, or why doesn't somebody? But like Freddie says, why not that be me? But then after you start something, then you have to connect to a higher power. I don't know what you want to call it, but there is something greater than us. But when we connect with the greater than us, whatever you call the greater than you, then you will be, it doesn't mean that the road will be easy. God knows. I know. It doesn't mean that it's just smooth sailing, but it will give you directions and ideas and thoughts and ways to work over the hurdle and keep going forward with the light. So that is within us. So a lot of times these kinds of things make us step back and take inventory and evaluation. And so this is where urban intellectuals is realizing the golden egg that has been sitting before us realizing that we have to show the world the golden egg, because, and which is the teachings, the instructions, the town hall, the children growing and being all that they can be, so that it's not for just for the company. It's not just to save the company. It's not just to get money, and not even for to help, grow wealth and what have you, because all of that will come along. But it is to change the world. We're called world changers, and we know that we're changing the world, student by student by student. And so we have to continue to keep doing that. We have to promote, not for filling pockets, but for promote so that people will know what they have, what alternative they have. Stop talking about the school system. They're not going to teach our history. We just need to stop, because we're wasting breath. But we can look to urban intellectuals to give our children what we need. I know I do. I know Dr. Ayton does for the adults. I know, and I do it for the adults and children. And I know Mr. Damon, he's just a wonderful teacher where people come, and he's so calm and relaxed. So all of this and that is given is just valuable. And I'm not saying it because I'm doing it. I'm saying it because I see the end results. Children that I would trust to run this country right now, today. That's what Urban Intellectuals does with the Sankofa Club. I see adults who start thinking about starting their own businesses. And so it's just not children growing, it's adults growing too. And then iron sharpens iron. And I learned from both groups, the adults and the children. And when they go to town hall and run the town hall, they should be running the country. So I'm going to end there. But that's why this is so important. It's not just because we need to keep a Black company open. We need to keep all Black companies open, but we need to keep this one open because it will open minds. So more children, more adults, more people will see that they might have a company inside of them, and then help other people by employing people, giving income, and increasing generational wealth. I'm through.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. We definitely appreciate it. And you'll be happy to know, Sister Gwen, Tamiko is working on, I don't know, it's like I want to whisper it, but y'all supposed to get a surprise coming for Juneteenth. But all right, y'all here, so you get a little shocked. But we're looking to bring Sankofa Club, the leaders, into the Juneteenth celebration so that you can see them interact and actually run their own Sankofa Nation town hall. So you can see it live and see exactly what Sister Gwen is talking about and thing, right? So that the people can see again the work getting our young people in front of you. So we want to make sure that we're highlighting and doing that. Um, but yeah, so I definitely thank you for all of that, Sister Gwen, because that's the thing, right? Like we're building something special. And whether you're attending the classes regularly or not, like we have to support this type of independent Black history education. And I use that word independent, right? Because during our talk this week with Kathy Hughes, she mentioned that he who though he who pays the piper decides the music, right? And she was talking in relations to sponsorships, right? So getting sponsorships inside of your business can be a great thing, but depending on who you take money from, it kind of starts to shape the type of information and the things that you can say. So he who pays the piper plays the music, right? So if you take money from an organization that don't want you to talk about specific things, then you either have to give up the money or not or compromise the angles, right? So you'll hear me talking a lot about independent Black history education, really independent education in general. So you're allowed to be independent when the community and the people support the mission and the work. So again, if even if you're not showing up for all of the classes, which I think you should, if you dropped your $100 and you're getting your 100 days, please drop into the classes and allow Sister Gwen and Dr. Aiden to pour into you. Um, but even if not, right, becoming a member so that you can support the work moving forward and to make sure that this is being done and that other individuals have an opportunity to love and grow with us. So I dropped the link down in the comments if you want to become a defender, the mission and everything that we're planning to do. But now I want to give us at least 53 minutes, 50 minutes or so of um, how do we sign up for that if we are a new defender? Oh, Joey. Okay, so oh man, I wish Tamiko was on here. I don't think that they've started y'all memberships just yet. I think that's coming up either Monday or Tuesday. I'm gonna drop a note to the team. So you should be given access here in the next couple of days, right? Yeah, I'll make sure that they give out the information because we need to do a major push because now we got all of these new defenders and it's like, oh, they need to be at Gwen's class this week, right? Or Dr. Aiden's class this week, or Damon Tyler's class this week, right? With your children, so that you can see what is happening. When you get on the inside and you see, you're gonna be like, "Oh man, this is beautiful, right? It's absolutely beautiful what's happening on the inside," and that's again, that's a fault of mine. I haven't been highlighting the stars of the organization, right? The stars are our teachers, are our world changers, and our children that are growing and learning, right? So they should be highlighted throughout this thing. And if I could add one other thing on that 2.0, I feel like we need an editor, a video editor on the team, like inside the organization. That I think like that is a big missing piece. Cause like I do some editing, some members on the team do some editing. Sometimes we outsource some things, but it's really not cohesive. But if we get somebody on the team that's constantly in the classes, that's pulling out those special moments, that's crafting narrative and story around the children's development. Like we got children that's been in our program since 2019, that have literally grown up through the program. And like we got video of them early in their development and then later, and you could see the transformation. Like when you talk to these children, you can see how much they have grown being around our world changers, being around like-minded peers of their own and the like-minded families that are communing together. But then if we have a video editor inside of the team that are telling these stories and putting that out in our material, I think like that's really important. So if you know any video editors or anybody that, hey, in the interim might want to barter some time for access to the programs, right? I think that would be phenomenal as well. But I definitely think you got to see what's happening on the inside. And great question, Joey. I got to make sure that this week I'm addressing that in our emails and everything that we're pushing out. To not neglect the defenders, right? Don't neglect them. Like let's get them into the program so that they can see the work. Okay, but with this last 50 minutes or so, I want to I want to do some Sunday dinner, right? Like I want to have some Sunday dinner conversation. I want to open it up. I want to make it I was going to say lighthearted, but the topics I got aren't really lighthearted, right? But here's the thing though. We need participation, right? So the thing about Sunday dinner that makes this different than any other platform or conversation that people have is we're not here. It's generally not here for me or some panelist to talk at you. It's for us to have a conversation together. So the more of you that raise your hand and get involved with the discussion, the better, generally, the better the conversation is. Don't be shy. You're amongst family. Um, Look, so if you say a lot and you're like kind of self-conscious about that, I just did it. I'm gonna pretend like I did that on purpose to make you more comfortable, but that was an it's an official there. But I got a couple of questions. Again, I just want you to kind of see the general direction of Sunday dinner, but we just have open-ended discussion, right? There's no right answer, there's no wrong answer. It's just your opinion, and we're coming together to commune. If you got some resources that you want to share, like, hey, I read this particular book or I read this particular article, we definitely want to encourage you to share that with the community, and like let's build and grow together, right? No person knows everything. I think I know a lot, but I'm reminded very quickly and often that, boy, you don't know much, right? What they say, the more you learn, the more you realize that you don't know. So we want to stay in that vein, right? And be respectful. Some people are going to share some ideas that you might not agree with, right? But that doesn't mean that we shut them down, that we boot them out, unless they being disrespectful. Then we're not going to tolerate none of that. Would it be okay if I give away some of my flashcards to people to let them know about the company? I believe that would be fine. Okay, yeah, that would be excellent, Gary. We definitely appreciate that. Thank you for thinking about how to help the organization and the company move forward. We definitely appreciate that. So we're in the vein of a normal Sunday dinner. I'm just going to pose a question, and you can raise your Zoom hand and jump into the conversation. It gets better if you come in and voice your thoughts, right? But I've been seeing a lot of conversation about, all right, well, we know the Voting Rights Act is being repealed and all of that terrible stuff. We know the gerrymandering and the redistricting that is going on in and around the country, and the concerns historically that brings for marginalized communities like ours. I want to hear your thoughts on this particular angle. They talk about the NAACP out of bounds campaign. Should black athletes boycott Southern schools that are gerrymandering the vote out? What are your thoughts on this? Is this a good idea? Is that a bad idea? Should student athletes not be burdened with such decisions? Are they too young? Is it too powerful of a apparatus to push back against? What are your thoughts on the NAACP asking black athletes not to take their talents and their NIL money to southern states that are actively trying to marginalize the black vote? Any thoughts on this campaign? Again, don't be shy. You don't have to, give a 2 hour master class on your thoughts. Bernita, you leaving us. Thanks for the transparency, company status. Shout out to Miss Gwen, who is my teacher for adult Black history classes. She speaks the truth from the heart. She's the real deal. Oh, excellent. Thank you for that, Benita. We appreciate it. What are your thoughts on the NAACP asking the student athletes? Anybody, any engagement here? Y'all not into this discussion? Is that not a thing? I know voting rights got to be on your radar, right? So we're definitely in there on that. You can drop your comment down in the comments if you have one, or come on to the mic though. Let's have a discussion, right? So maybe I'll put a few questions out there. Y'all being shy. I'm gonna get somebody to come on out here. I'm gonna have to now. I got y'all gonna make me get controversial just to drag you out into the conversation. That what y'all gonna do, Kathy? Why they trying to do me like that? I'm trying to act right. We got new people here.
Now, Freddie, you can't put too many questions out there at the same time. Give people time to process that first one.
Okay. Get me straight, Doc. Get me
No, no,
straight,
no, no
birthday
problem.
girl.
I'm all over the place when it comes to that. Because on the one hand, those athletes, that education that they're seeking to get and those talents that they're taking might be the only way for them to get that education.
Yeah.
So I hesitate to say, don't take those offers. Don't take that money. Okay, I don't know. I don't have a full understanding of how the NIL money works. It's like, will NIL go to an HBCU? Do you,
Um,
do you see what I'm
they
saying? I don't know
have
how that
NIL
works.
deals, but I don't think they're as large as like the SEC or those
Exactly.
larger companies.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so me, I wasn't blessed with the opportunity to attend an HBCU because all of my scholarships were academic. And I know schools use their scholarships back when I was going to school for diversity,
Mhm.
so that I did not get any scholarship offers from my HBCUs, whereas I got tons of them from the PWIs. So the only way I would have been able to go to college and become who I am today was because I took advantage of their scholarship opportunities. So I hesitate to say to these young men and women to forego that for that purpose. Whereas when I did get that scholarship to that PWI, when things came around, I was in a position to speak on that. I went to school back in the 80s when we were divesting from South Africa and apartheid. Yes, I was very vocal and everything that I could do on my campus. And yes, my campus did divest, by the way, because of the strong protest from the students. But at the same time, I did not encourage anyone who could lose their scholarship or lose their avenue for an education to do that. Those of us who could do it did it. But we
Mhm.
needed to protect those that was their avenue. So like I said, I'm all over the place in terms of my thoughts on this NIL and asking these students to do that. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That we're going to need their minds and their talents later on. Don't jeopardize it now. That maybe those of us who can do it need to be doing it now. And maybe
Yes.
them going to those schools and being the voice at those schools would be a stronger message, that they're in the rooms where it happens, they're at the tables. Whereas instead of just closing that door of possibly being there where they can be a spokesperson. So I'm just all over the place on that one. I haven't done my research on NILs, HBCUs, and that type of thing, but I hesitate to take that financial gain from those athletes when that could be the only way out for them and their families.
Hey, that's a real conversation because it's a lot of money, man. Especially if you're going to an SEC school, you're a pretty darn good athlete.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
yeah, and it's a lot of money on the table that they're flicking around at them children, at the young men, young women. Um,
And my other thing too is, who's to say they're gonna even bother listening to that? How much is like, who are they hurting when they do that? It's like, are the people who are making those decisions for gerrymandering and all that, are they even paying attention to the schools and so forth? It goes all the way back to their financial boosters and stuff like that.
mm,
Until we can, follow the money in terms of the people that are doing all this redistricting and things like that, I can't say I would put the kids there. I think that they could best benefit in other ways instead of jeopardizing themselves. That's just me. Being
okay.
somebody that would not have gone to college had it not been, for scholarships.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like that. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts. You seem to got they agreeing with you down in the comments. Georgia
And now
makes
you
some
got
good.
some hands up, so I'll be quiet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You worked them up for me. Thank you, thank you. You got them stirred up. Georgia, she says the NAACP is not saying absolutely do not go to those schools. They are asking them to accept other options. If that is the only option, they are asking them to say absolutely no. They are not asking them to say absolutely no if that's their only option. So yeah, because that was my thing. I was like, you know, all right, you don't want me to go to, say, the University of Georgia, which is trying to operate in this stuff, but to go to an HBCU, like go to the University of Michigan. All right, that's a school that's comparable that could probably match the NIL money because man, it's life changing money, y'all. If you're not familiar with the type of money that they're throwing around, particularly to like the I was gonna say the NFL. The collegiate football players or the basketball players, which are the two dominant sports that drag in these big dollars, they are throwing millions of dollars at these children, right? Like at these 18-year-olds, right? Let me put it that way. All right, Gregory, what are your thoughts? I got Gregory up next. I think that's how the order went. Yeah.
Okay to go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Actually, in total alignment with the first speaker, kind of like all over the place. And when I initially heard that, on MSNBC, I mean MS Now, I said that was a good intention but bad ask. And I say good intention because it was, given with option, not like someone said, not telling them to do it, but if they could do it. But I still thought it was a bad ask. And I think a better ask would be getting the money and giving them opportunity to share those resources and use that money in a different manner in which they often use it when it comes to giving back or even supporting their own kind. So I'm gonna land it right there. Make the money, but use it right. I can recall in the military when we used to do the annual CFC campaign, and that was over 30 years ago. But when we looked at that campaign book, there were no Black organizations to even donate to, and we all were required to donate. So how about creating something like that to whereas they can give back with a lot of those resources that they get and the support that they get from all these sports lovers.
Yeah, I like that. I like that talk. All right, Gregory, appreciate you. All right, sister, I am gonna botch your name, so get me together now. I'm just gonna ask you to pronounce. You already know. You gave me that smile.
Greetings all. My name is Sister Nefer Kara.
Nefer Kara.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
To veggie back on what the sister was saying, if they have other comparable options in other places, that's fine. But I think the bigger problem is that we ask something in isolation. It should be part of another package because, as some people were saying in the chat, a lot of times when they go, they're still being used because they're making more money than the athletes. And what I would like to see is more of a community support of these young people. So as I say, if there are no other options, take the money, but through the NAACP, through organizations such as ours and what have you, to be more proactively involved to support them and advocating for them in those spaces so that they're not being exploited, and that we're also not allowing their minds to be grabbed by them and brainwashed into their thinking. So rather than saying, oh, don't take the money, but so what about their future? Versus when you take the money, to encourage them to be connected to groups like this through the NAACP. Let the NAACP say, okay, but let's give you an internship. So that way you're not down the rabbit hole with no tools, no support, no guidance.
Interesting. I like that. I like that. And she make me, thank you, sister. I appreciate you participating. You make me think about some of the folks saying, well, this is fault of organizations like the NAACP or the Democratic Party who have failed over the last 50, 60 years to be effective to fight against this anyway. And now you're asking 18, 19, 20-year-olds to go to war for you when you should have been doing some of the right things anyway. This isn't me, y'all. I'm just talking about what I've heard. All right, don't attack Brother Freddie, but but I just thought that's a pretty interesting point. Right now, you want to shift and put this weight on this particular group, which young people and students have always been at the forefront of change, right, in this country and really around the world. If you think about apartheid in South Africa, right, like a lot of the fight on the streets came from the youth, right, and the same with what we saw here in this country during the civil rights movement in that era. But Rosalind, and yes, all right, all right. My eyes
Yes.
be playing tricks on me, so.
Hi. I have two thoughts. One is we need to start making sacrifices. Everybody's about me. And, as long as this doesn't touch me, I don't need to do anything. We've got to change that thought. We didn't get where we are today because people were selfish. The South needs to get a message, and we need to stop playing this game. Let me pretend nothing's going on, and maybe it'll go away. To me, it's like Nazi Germany. I had a woman work for me years ago who said, you know what? They blame the German people for what happened to the Jewish people. We didn't know what was going on. And now I have to admit, Americans are going to be Black Americans are going to be saying the same thing 10 years from now. Because again, as long as my family and the people I know are doing great and my church is great, that's on you. Somebody's got to start sacrificing. We are not here today because we didn't sacrifice. And what I also would like people to remember too is the fact that we weren't all in slavery. We had Black people out there doing things, and that is also why we are here today. So the Black history piece is huge. And I'd like to invite any of you that come to the Chicago area, Waukegan, Illinois. There is a museum, Sylvia England's England Manor, which we do an awesome job teaching people about Black history. And what I love about the museum, it is a time for all of us to tell our stories, because just because we're Black doesn't mean we all had the same experience.
I like that. Thank you, sister. Appreciate that. Good thought, though. That's a good thought. At some point, hey, we're gonna have to fight. We're gonna have to sacrifice. This is definitely how we got here. It's not, we didn't get here because everybody was playing the American game, pull yourself up by your bootstrap, playing this individuality game, which is a joke because America has never the majority population has never played individual ball. They've always practice and play together. They didn't call it that, but when the government backs you and gives you things, that is like playing together, right? They just seem to have an issue when it's our turn. Brother John Harris, come on, what say you, good sir?
Good afternoon, everyone. I apologize, I am not on camera because I'm probably being a bad listener. I'm driving, so
no worries.
I don't wholly agree with the first speaker's comments, but I am in almost total alignment with Sister Nefer Kara's points that it's on us. We have to support these young folks. The issue that I have, and I'm going to try and keep it tight, the issue that I have is sending them to these PWIs, and then they're further kept separated, distant. A good example of that would be O.J. Simpson. He was othered. He kept himself othered. Yes, he did whatever he did. He was great at sports and all these things, but he wasn't part of our community. He didn't identify with us. He actively chose to be separate. And so having these folks not at the HBCUs, because they're already probably been in private schools for their time because of the level of support that they needed at the local level in these schools. So they're already probably at these private schools with a population that doesn't look like them. So then to send them further into a PWI environment, not supporting. So to Sister Neferkara's point, maybe the NAACP didn't message well, but I think the second brother corrected and said, hey, it's not just saying no, it's saying no when you have options. And so maybe the NAACP and other organizations and groups and individuals can step in the opportunity to be in community with other folks. There's a lot of folks don't know about the CIAA. A lot of folks don't know about all the other aspects that we have. So putting folks in a space that affirms them, giving them an opportunity to be connected. And so that we gain the benefit, because otherwise it's just going to keep cycling back out and spitting out the benefits to the other communities, the other people, and the other populations. And I think it's important that we step up and we stand with them, up for them as our generation and above. And so I think that that is my perspective on it, is to really stand up for them, because they're young adults. They don't have any money. Sometimes they don't have decision power. They're going to go with what their best option is and their best guidance is. But when it comes to that money, of course, a parent's going to encourage them, choose this. So that name, image, and likeness, for anyone that didn't catch on, I picked up on that name, image, and likeness for
Yes.
folks that say, so the schools are required to pay them now because they're using marketing, getting money. So HBCU may not have the money for that, but if we can show them the benefit, then we can help them appreciate the back end benefit. Because when they're done at the PWI, when they're done with whatever else, there's nothing. But in the community, they can be something. They can continue to be uplifted and be examples to those that come behind them in the generations to come. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. All right, well said, brother. This is why I like these discussions, y'all, because we can have them. We don't got to agree 100% with one another, but we can be respectful of one another, and push each other to grow and consider at least, right? And Gary, PWI means predominantly white institution, so that's how that is being used. All right, Georgia, you are up.
Well, hello, hello, hello. It's been a
Hello.
minute. It's
It
been a
has.
minute. And a disclaimer, I am a part of the NAACP here in
Uh-oh.
Virginia Beach, Virginia.
She coming to
Okay.
fight. Uh-oh. I just kidding. I just kidding.
And so when it was presented to us, of course, we heard it on the news before we heard it at our different branches and everything, which happens sometimes because it was just so much coming at us so quickly, with all of the redistricting. Virginia was part of that redistricting. We voted to change our districts. And then the state Supreme Court and the U.S. Supreme Court pushed back against an election where the people said we wanted to change our district statewide. And so they pushed back against us. So once we saw this happening so many places, all down south, and Virginia is somewhat considered south, we just happen to be a state that kind of pushes back against a lot of these things that are happening. I think there was a young man that refused to play for a state until they pulled down the Confederate flag. And I cannot remember his name because I don't do football like I used to. Back when I was a young person, I could name all this stuff, but I'm a little bit older now and coming up on another birthday real soon. So I don't remember all of this stuff anymore. But when he said he would not play until they pulled that flag down, guess what? That state pulled that flag down. And so I think sometimes we forget we have power. And I agree with, I can't pronounce her name either, but we don't teach sacrifice much anymore. We teach our young people that you can have everything that you want, but you don't have to do anything to get anything. And if you recall the civil rights movement, those young people volunteered to stand out there as they were being pummeled with water hoses. They volunteered. The Freedom Riders, they volunteered to get on those buses to come down south to try to get people registered to vote and to get voting rights in place. And so I think primarily what they were looking at was a holistic way of pushing back against these southern states who were redistricting in the back room. When Virginia and California said we want to redistrict, they put it on the ballot. The people voted to change the districts. It was not a bunch of elected officials going into the back room and saying, we're going to just redraw the district to make it favorable for my posse. That's not what they did. They gave it to all of Virginians that was qualified to register and to vote. And they gave them the opportunity to decide, do you want what we have now, or would you like to change it? And so we voted to change it. The Supreme Court in the state of Virginia, in the Commonwealth of Virginia, said no to what the people had voted for. And so it was a number of things. It wasn't one thing. It was all of these states down south that were redrawn districts that pushed people like Jasmine Crockett out of her seat. Okay, that's why she ran for Senate. She ran for Senate because they had redrawn the districts. So we know that our children are bringing tremendous amount of money to these colleges and universities, these states. You go in there, and Tennessee is a prime example. You can't go, I think it's Tennessee, you can't go anywhere without seeing the orange and white everywhere. Okay? Orange and white everywhere. And so they're making money hand over fist. And they take our children, they put them on that field, if they get hurt or injured or what have you, they're not necessarily taken care of for the rest of their lives. Okay. So I want to say, and because I wasn't at the table, I want to say that, believe it or not, even though it sounds like, oh, the NAACP didn't do this or that or the other, they do go into a room and they talk to one another. They go to the coaches and to some of those schools and universities, and they get input. Okay. Did they go to all of them? Probably not. Did they have enough time to do all of that? Probably not, because most of us are all volunteers. We don't get paid anything to go out here and fight on your behalf. We don't get paid a dime to go stand before city council, school board, or anything like that. The other thing that they were looking at is not just the students, but also how much money is the Black community spending going to these football games? How much are they spending buying the paraphernalia? How much are they spending when they stay overnight in these hotel rooms that mistreat us and all of that? So they were looking at it from a holistic standpoint. So the reason why they pushed back is because they said, look, this is the new civil rights movement. And one of the fastest ways you can get to the people who are in power, the oppressors, is you take away their money. And that is one thing they understand. They understand the Benjamins. And so what the NAACP looked at is, how do we take away that money from them? So I hope this kind of clears things up a little bit, because initially I was like, oh my God, they're going to boycott. They're going to boycott. Oh my God. They're going to tell the children not to go to the universities. But also, how many of those guys that go to those white universities get a college education? How many of them? It's not a high number a lot of times, okay? But they generally do graduate from the HBCUs in many, many instances. And so that was the other thing they looked at, is the fact that you get our kids there and you run them to death. You run them on the basketball court, you run them on the football field, and you run them into the ground, and you could care less whether they survive or not. Because if they broke records, guess what you do? You come back and you sell the records that they broke, and you continue to make money, forever. So I hope that kind of helps everybody just a teeny bit.
No,
And
that
that's
was
all I
good.
have for you this afternoon.
That was good. Thank you for sharing. Very insightful, and good to get somebody that's volunteering her time to be part of the organization, right? Just not like Brother Freddie just talking. We appreciate you, sister. Thank you so much. But yeah, this is why I like these discussions, right? We get a lot of perspectives, right? We get a lot of insight. And the name you were looking for earlier, I put it in the comments, Kaylin Hill. I had never
Yes.
heard of that. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Challenge Mississippi State, yeah, in June
Yes. He
2020.
said, no, I will not play. And they took
Yeah,
it
yeah.
down.
I had
Yes.
never heard of that. So I'm glad you put that out there. And
Mhm.
the fact that them making the comment can
Mhm.
start the fear, right? Because they're like, oh, wait a minute, what if this picks up steam, right? Like maybe we should consider, because they listen, that money dry up. Them state institutions, listen, and I'm telling you, football and basketball drives like 90% of their revenue for the entire campus, right?
Mhm.
So it's a really serious conversation being had. And if I'm not mistaken, somebody check me on this. Don Staley in South Carolina stated that if South Carolina goes through this redistricting, she's gonna leave. And if she
Mm.
leaves, she's gonna take that talent with her. And them Gamecock women's basketball team is the bee's knees in basketball, period. Not just women's basketball, but
Mhm.
basketball. Of course, the redistricting didn't happen, and of course, it wasn't just her comments. But let's not pretend that didn't have some sort of consideration paid to it. So I think if a lot more of our people in those types of positions got the listen, I'm just gonna say it, got the balls to stand up and cut your money, because you're gonna have to cut your money. But it's here we go with that sacrifice conversation again, right? So I don't know. I love that sister to death. Long before that, but That just made me love her even more. So, all right, Aubrey, let me be quiet. Here I go saying I'm gonna open up the conversation. Now I just want to talk.
All right. All right. Thank you. When Sister Georgia said that about the young gentleman would not go to that school in Mississippi because of that flag, our athletes can do the same thing today with what's going on. They can look at the schools that they're looking to go to in the state and see how some of the ratchet things they're doing and say, okay, I'll come here if this, if that, if you get rid of this, or even if you maybe include even a Black History school class, something like that, where they can, like she said, we do have power. We just don't realize it.
Mhm. Mhm.
That was it. Thank you.
Thank you. Definitely appreciate your comments. Yeah, we got power, man. We just gotta use it. We gotta encourage our young people to use it. We gotta encourage our elders to use it. We gotta support individuals when they do use it. But that's part of the issue, right? It's like everybody wants somebody else to say something, but then somebody say something. Imagine Don Staley leaves, she's not making whatever, I don't know what type of money she makes, but now she's making a third of that, or a quarter of that, or an eighth of that, or she's out of coaching altogether because now they done blackballed her. Like, if we don't go and support her and continue to give her platforms and build her up and follow behind her, who else is going to do that? This was my conversation around Kaepernick, and I feel like this is where we really failed because who else is going to give up their livelihood for us if we continue to not support them after they put their neck on the line? And you know this white supremacist apparatus is going to chop you off, chop you at the knees, but who else is going to do it? He gave up a $90 million contract. Now you can argue some of the tall, he's a washed up quarterback and this and that. There are white boy quarterbacks that have played in the league for 15 years that have never touched the field because they're perennial second and third string quarterbacks. But they just 15 years and never like played 8 games in their career, but they're still on the field. You trying to tell me that Kaepernick can't play? There's 96 quarterbacks better than him. Like, no, you know exactly what transpired, but are we supporting the brother afterwards, right? After those moves. So now we're asking these young athletes or anybody to make these types of sacrifices. We got to realize that folks are giving up a hell of a lot for the betterment of the community. And not all of them ain't asking for nothing, right? Some of them is just like, it's my duty and my honor to have this opportunity to follow in the footsteps of the ancestors that got us here, right? That have done so much more than just taking a pay cut, right? They done got their heads beat in at the same time on top of all of that. Al, are you back or did I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you were talking, it made me think about something.
Yeah.
Miss Georgia also said she's part of the NAACP. If she was able to get a hold of those states, the NAACP in those states, and maybe those chapters could reach out to the students to say, okay, are you willing to put some pressure on the school? If so, we can help you in what areas to put that pressure in. So they have some guidance. And it's not all on them to find out, okay, what do I need to put pressure on them about?
Mm.
That was it. Thanks.
I believe there is a complete toolkit and they're building on it all the time from the NAACP. So it won't necessarily be someone from the state. It could be a person that is, more or less an expert in the area that go down into those areas because we have regions. And all of that area, I want to say, is Region 5. States like Georgia, Florida, all of that is Region 5. And so Region 5 will probably concentrate substantially on that particular area because they're coming out from one group of the country, which makes it a lot easier when you can just like zone in and and focus, because then you can kind of market for that particular area. So, but they will
That's
be
awesome.
talking with their local branches and stuff like that. But in the NAACP, we ought to have a branch in every city So, or county. So think about how many cities are in one state, like South Carolina, or even my state. There's a lot of cities in that state, and when you start looking at all those presidents throughout, it's a lot of presidents and vice presidents and stuff. But you make a very, very good point. But I think that they're trying to focus like a region, and then pull those other people together as well. But I love your idea.
Thank
Yeah.
you. It's
Hmm.
great.
Yeah, this is why I like having these types of conversations, right? We have to continue to inspire and support one another as we continue to build. And we like talking about the young people. I think this is why young people got to have history and culture growing
Hmm.
up, right? Because then
Hmm.
by the time they enter into a
Hmm.
HBCU or a PWI or whatever the case may be, they got a better understanding of who they are, the fight that they come from, the things that is expected of them, right? And it's like, let young people be young people. No, no, don't let young people be young people. We're not gonna waste the youth. Don't waste the youth, right? On being ignorant, right? Like have some fun, enjoy yourself, but learn to fight and like let's use that youth, right? How many of you would love to go back, right, and have those 20s over again, right? Those late teens and those 20s over again to do some of the things that not only we want to do individually, but things that we could have done for the community around us. Let's not waste that youth. Let's educate that youth, and then get out their damn way, right? Get out their way and support them in their efforts. If we grow them up with knowledge and understanding, they won't make all the decisions that you want to make, right?
Hmm.
It's like when you create something, you can't control it all the way, right? Like it's like, oh, I wouldn't have did that, but hey, sometimes those beautiful mistakes come out of that. But I know we talked about the HBCU PWI thing. I went to a PWI, right? I was an athlete. I went to school for free. Went to a PWI, and um, I don't know. It made me like love my community even more because it wasn't a lot of us on campus, and it like galvanized us and
Hmm.
brought us together. But I grew up in a home where Black history was, but not only bestowed on me, it was my father loved it, right? Like so, it was just something that I understood around the community. But I will say this about the athletes, particularly, I wasn't like a tier one athlete, right? I went to Southern Illinois University, D1, but one double A, like the smaller schools. Um, but when you go to those top tier organizations, you start to realize, or if y'all just start to look right now, because the conversation always like, man, why are athletes always with these white girls, right? Well, I personally I believe love is love, and you just whatever, right? Like that's who you're around, that's who you're around, right? This is kind of the thing. But you start to realize that it's intentional because when they're young, they're separated from the group because then now they end up with a particular trainer out in the burbs in a different travel baseball community in this community. When they get to the schools, everybody, the advisor team, the mentors, like the trainers, the athletes, everybody around them is of a different community. Then this translates right. Well, now it's NIL in the community. Most of them end up with white agents. I mean, at every level, it just gets it. That's kind of the environment, unless you're intentional about making sure that no, I'm gonna have like I love this brother. Forgive me, y'all. Kaepernick went rogue on football. I stopped watching football, so the names like drift out of my head. Right? Philadelphia quarterback Jalen
Which
Hurts. Jalen Hurts.
Jalen? Mhm.
But he's intentional about he got a black woman lawyer, he got a black woman agent, like he got himself a black wife, but he was very intentional about all of that. And that the only reason is because he was intentional about it. But that's got to be from his home, right? That's got to be from he has a love for his people and he wants to make sure that he's putting them on platforms to advance them because they got all the opportunities in the world. They have control they got decision making, right? They're not puppets, but if they're not thinking or they're not conscious or conscious that this is important, then You just end up with wherever you at, and then you like who you like, right? I believe you like people that you're around, right? That affirm you, that make you feel good, and all of that good stuff. So if that's what's in your immediate environment, that's kind of like where you end up. Just my opinion, right? I don't mean I'm right, but I think I'm in the game somewhere in that. But I definitely love these types of conversations. I like that we're able to be open and honest with one another, which is why I want to get back into some good old fashioned Sunday dinner discussion. Sometimes I'm here to be a comedian. All right, I always think I'm funny, y'all. So that's there is that. I don't know if the jokes always land, but I'm always throwing them out there at some point. Elaine, you want to jump in here? Come on, young lady.
Hi, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank you. I started coming on Sunday dinner. I guess that was well over a year ago, so I do kind of miss it. And I worked hard today to find you guys because I kept having to go to YouTube. But I was putting in the wrong. When I clicked on it, I kept getting this critical error. But anyway, the main thing I wanted to mention. Now, Freddie, you used to call me one of those young people because your dad is older than me. I'm at 78. I cannot tell you how much I have appreciated, number one, being in Miss Wynn's class, and also in Dr. Aiden's class.
Mm.
I have been sharing information, and something happened the day before yesterday. I was talking to one of my sorority sisters, and I was sharing with her something about Mound Bayou in Mississippi. When I mentioned that to her and told her I had researched it after my class and that Clarksdale, her husband was born in Clarksdale. And my point is, when we start sharing facts that we learn in classes, then we start getting that information and that history out there to people, and it inspires them. Because she got right online while she was on the phone with me, and she
Mm.
looked it up. So
Wow.
I want you to know that we do. If each one of us, that's my educators retired side of me. I'm always learning. So that means I'm always sharing and teaching. Keep doing what we're doing. We just got to encourage. We've got to each one reach one, each one teach one, so we can get this money in there too. As Ms. Gwen said, it's not just about making the money; it's about making the history.
Mm.
So I want to share this too. I was a 1969 graduate of LSU. We had a branch in New Orleans. When I went there at 17 years old, integration in Louisiana had just started in like 63. I guarantee you they did not want us on that campus. But when you're on a PWI, predominantly white institution, you have to pull together. And that's what I'm not seeing so much in the universities now. We've got to get our kids, well, before we get the kids, we got to get their parents. We lost a whole generation. They do not know. The parents that I'm working with, like on these scholarships and things like that, they don't know our history. So we've got to pull in our BAPACs, our Black Parents Association, and if there are other races in there, take them too. You got to teach them. We've got to have support. We got Sigma Gamma Rho, which was one of the Divine Nine. That was the first Black organization on that campus. And I guarantee you, we fought for over a year to do it. Every time we did something, a roadblock went up. But just it was like 19 females, and I was 17. Some of the people in there and the sorority group were 36. That's unusual. But we got a chapter on that campus. Then what else did we do? We ended up getting spearheading an NAACP Youth in College chapter. I'm talking about back in the 60s, guys. There's no reason we're not doing that right now. Some people say, oh, the NAACP isn't doing anything. Well, what are you doing with them? If you have kids in school, especially if they're at a PWI, remember all this stuff that man sitting up in the White House has done with DEI and closing out organizations on campus, we got to go and step in there. I may not have the mobility to do what I used to do, but we've got technology that we can still get out there, talk to people, take the time to not only talk with the young people, but more importantly, listen to what they're saying, listen to their needs, find out what's going on in their elementaries, their middle schools, their high schools, and wherever, if they're going to JC, if they're going to college, find out what kind of assets are being given to them. They're definitely not learning history. So I know I got some other points, but I got to be quiet so you can get other people. But
No, listen, we winding down. You got some more points. You better go get them off.
Well, just the thing that I don't even remember how I first got on Urban Intellectual. So what you were saying about getting the almost like a videographer to edit these. Yeah. And I do know one really great person. They have now moved from California back to South Carolina. So I'm going to talk to him and maybe we can do something with that because he's a history buff. And I don't think he comes on any of the things with that. I also want to say, someone mentioned something about giving the cards away. Please do that. Purchase them. Many times Freddie has had sales on there. Get them. Give them out to your family members, to other kids, maybe at the church. I'm trying to find out right now if the libraries up here in the Los Angeles area where I happen to be, would they utilize the cards if I took them? But if not, then I'm gonna get them to the people. That's it for me. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing it. Sharing and being willing to share us and all of that. Hey, if you are, if y'all want to buy in like larger batches, we do sell wholesale as well. Dr. Anita, I didn't see those hands up.
I think somebody else's hand was up before mine, or no? Okay.
I saw Elaine. That was Elaine.
Something the previous speaker just said about giving the cards to people or whatever. One of the things that I've been doing, and I buy your cards in batches because not only do I, pass out the cards, I teach at different conferences, workshops, campuses, and so forth, where I teach them how to use the cards in sort of like an instructional way. It's like pass out the cards and the children put them in order, in sequential order. They organize them by if this person is political, economic, social, cultural, religious, activist, to have them actually do something with the cards. Because you can put the cards there. It's like, you take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But you can take the cards to the place and maybe just stay there for a little while and engage people with the cards, show them the value of the cards and so forth, because they may or may not be opened or used the way that we want them to be used if we're not there to show them. So as an educator, I've used the cards for years in my classroom and at different venues. When I travel, I take the cards with me and we're sitting at dinner and we use the cards for different ways. So yeah, don't just give them away. Take a few moments of your time to show people who are getting the cards what to do with them. So that's my 2 cents worth as an educator.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Thank you for that. I mentioned the wholesale and now someone asked for it. And of course, I don't know where to find it. So, all right, I'm going to say shoot an email to support@urbanintellectuals.com. Support. Then more than likely, Tomiko is going to follow up with you. I thought it was, let me try one other thing. Wholesale. Yeah, okay, this should be it. Yeah, all right. So this link goes to our wholesale orders. And if you have any questions, you can always email. That's a big, ugly link.
Freddie got a question for you. Oh, go ahead.
Can't get my hand up.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I found it online.
You did find it. Okay.
Find up.
All right. Was there another question or somebody had a comment?
Freddie, I had a question, quick question. Why aren't you still reading this day on beautiful Black history, like on Instagram? I haven't seen it. I miss it, but it's okay. I think you're too busy maybe to continue it. That's it.
Yeah, man, the
Thank
issue is the person that was making those posts regularly for us, we had to let her go. So so we're down on the team, right? So we had to make some cuts. I mentioned that. I hate letting people go, y'all. This be the roughest part of a business. But it was just something that we had to do. So she was making all of those posts regularly. So that's why you see the inconsistency in our posting now, because I'm literally posting, right? And somebody else asked me earlier today, like, hey, what happened to On This Day in Black History? Which is crazy is they're all recorded. So I've already got them recorded. So, all right, thank you for the reminder. I want to make sure I get back. I just got to make that part of my morning routine and getting those back up. But yeah, so we're down a little staff. So just trying to figure out, who's going to do what. But right now the focus is on, the main campaign. So but I'll be sure to circle back around to that. So thank you for that push, though. It's one of my favorite parts of our campaigns, right? Because I enjoy On This Day in history in general. I love that type of stuff. And it gives us an opportunity to talk about the calendar, so it always works out. Thanks for that.
And I just want to hop in there, Freddie. There's so many things on our list that we want to do
Yeah.
when it comes to serving our community and telling our stories. And right now we're facing a crisis. And as Freddie, thanks everyone earlier for helping us at least keep the lights on right now. And we're moving into the next phase to really stabilize the company so that we can continue the important work that we do. And social media is part of that. And I'm asking everyone on here, if you are not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button and hit the notifications. Make sure they're turned on so that when we go live, you can share it far and wide. That's the easiest free thing that you can do is when you see an email, when you see a social media post, whether it's Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, if you see something that you like that Urban Intellectuals has put forward, please share it far and wide, because that there is power in that. And word of mouth is very powerful. We spend millions. I don't even think Freddie addressed that in the explaining what goes on and, how Urban Intellectuals got into our predicament. Urban Intellectuals has spent millions of dollars on advertising, and we can cut that cost if everyone just refers someone else, just spread the word whenever just I'm going to share this with someone, I'm going to forward this text. It really helps. And it's more powerful than us trying to convince people. So I just wanted to leave everyone with that, and thank you once again. Thank you. And and I want to say this in case they're listening to my former UI team members. We love you.
Yeah.
We miss you. We appreciate you. You ladies are extraordinary, and I know whatever you decide to get into, it's going to be wonderful and beautiful. And thank you for the work that you've done with us to this point. And I just wanted to say that publicly, just in case they are on. And to our world changers, Ms. Gwen Ebron, Dr. Aiden, Mr. Damon Tyler, and all the other world changers that were with us earlier, Ms. Corey Bisher, Lauren Ray, and Anushka Baltez. I thank you for the work that you do with us. The children of the Sankofa Club, you have me in complete awe. You are the future. And as scary as that our present seems, knowing that Urban Intellectuals the world changers are urban intellectuals like Miss Gwen and Mr. Damon. They're pouring into you every single week. Their passions are relevant, and they're pouring into you every single week. And you have incredible parents that are making sure that you are part of organizations like Urban Intellectuals, and that as young as you are those world changers, right? You are going to change the world. And I know Freddie said something about the membership being the core, wanting it to be the core. It is the heart, it is the core. It's there, it's beating, no matter whether people know it's there or acknowledge that it's there or not. It is beating, and it's alive. And we just want it to course through the veins of our community, so to speak, right? And so just share it. If you could share store.urbanintellectuals.com/defend to support our current mission. But if you don't remember anything else, urbanintellectuals.com, you can find all of our links to our programs like Sankofa Club, like Sankofa Circle, like Sankofa Legacy. And I'll end with this. Urban Intellectuals has a mission to change the world through the knowledge of our past. Our past is extraordinary. Our past is beautiful, and it's empowering, and it literally is the solution to a lot of the challenges that we find impacting our community today. So thank you. I'll leave you with that, and thank you for your support always.
Thank you, sister. As always, we definitely appreciate you, Sister Tamiko. All right, we got Elaine, then Dr. Anita.
Okay, I managed to find that hand raised sign again. Okay, sorry, I apologize for cutting in on someone else. But Dr. Lewis made me remember something when you're talking about purchasing the cards, and her point is well taken, where you're saying if you're actually able to be there with the kids. But the other cards and thank you for putting the wholesale, because I've got all these friends that play bid whist and all. So I said, oh, I was looking at my own pack of playing cards yesterday. So I wanted to bring that up so that if there are persons on here that either if you play cards or you're teaching your kids, or you've got, I know several groups that have scholarship fundraisers, and that's how I found out about them. And they play cards. They play tongue, they play bid whist, and so I'm getting some cards and giving them to them so that they can give them to their members. So thank you for the wholesale. Now I got one quick question for you. Mm-hmm. When you were mentioning that you had to let the young person go, that was, I think you said, were they editing your thing so you could put the history facts out? Is that what you said?
Yeah, she was doing some of the editing, but she was also scheduling all of the social media posts. Like it don't seem like a lot of work, but it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, okay, this is just a suggestion. I mean, something off the top of my head. I don't know if it would help, but because I do a lot of community work through my teacher sorority and my other sorority, is there any way you could utilize youth service time, community service time, or would that be too overwhelming for you guys to have to train them? What I'm saying is that there are opportunities for young people. For example, the Kappas, they have their Kappa League young men. And part of all of these organizations, even with mine, you do community service. If you guys would be, willing to do something like that, you might be able to utilize some of those youth groups from organizations. Now, it would take strategically setting it up, but it was just another thought I was trying to think, because then those kids if they did that as community service time, then you as an organization on your own letterhead, you give them credit for their community service. And you say, where do they go with that? When they're getting into colleges now, if they're, no matter even if they're going to the JCs or whatever, you put that in your resume count. Scholarships for sure, ask for community service. So they would not be getting money from you in that way. They would be giving their community service to help you get these other things out. And these kids are sharp, let me tell you. So
you
just
know,
step
I
on.
know. Yeah, no, that's a great thought, and that goes along with internships. A lot we've been asked that a lot.
Yes,
Can we offer the internship? But it's yes. Let me be on the short answer and just say yes. And it's something we want to do, but I want to offer internships, but I don't want to feel like I'm taking advantage of the children. I want to make sure that we're giving proper training and support so that they're actually
exactly.
learning something and growing through the result, not just really checking the box. So that's been my hesitancy around that.
But that's what we do. We train them, and we also, like, we may bring in other people to talk to them so that this is not just a one level time thing. We're trying to impact their lives for the future. But if you have an opportunity of an internship, that means that we don't have to go totally scrounge because that's what a lot of us do. We go find other places if because sometimes their schools give it to them, but many times they don't. So it gives us an opportunity as our sororities, and we have connections, we have networks. So it wouldn't just be them checking their box. Bottom line, like you said, they're getting educated. They're getting educated in a field, but they're also you're going to have that opportunity to give them Black history, African history. That was my thought. I'm taking it even
Okay. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. And yeah, we'll definitely give it some more consideration and work. Is it possible to post the job description requirements? Yeah, we could do that. I'll try to make sure we do that on the on Sankofa Universe. I'll try to get that out or in an email. We'll do something like that. Good thought. All right. Birthday girl.
Hello, I'm back. I'm not camera ready. I've got a lot going on around me, so you're gonna have to deal with the little picture of me. But something to on the same train of thought of when I was saying that when you're passing out the cards to actually hang around and use the cards and so forth. The gentleman that mentioned about losing the young lady that was doing your videos and everything. I was thinking, like, how many of us have a deck of those cards around our house? How many of us have done our little, birthday videos? Here, I'm at this place, and that, don't you love the food? Or here, I'm here. Don't you love this? If not to take away anyone's job, but in the interim, there's like 40 something people on here. If each one of us just picked one card and posted it to our Instagram, our TikTok, our Facebook, or whatever, that in itself would help in promoting the cards and so forth. And, of course, the classes. But the same way that they were looking for your Black History Today video, it's like if 40 of us are out there doing it, they may get 5 or 6 Black History Today videos. It's just that, that's it. That's my thought.
No, yeah, no, that's a good thought. That's a good thought. And definitely listen, anytime you want to share what you're learning with urban intellectuals or sharing the cards and talking about it, please tag us. That is always amazingly appreciated. Anytime you want to turn your camera on and talk about urban intellectuals and why you think this work is important, please tag us. Testimonials are like we've got to get better at is they call it user generated content. So it's actually you talk. It's like a review, right? Like y'all know how important Amazon reviews are or Yelp reviews are before you go to a particular place. Getting a review from y'all is like that. There's no amount of advertising that we can do. There's no amount of things that I can say about the company that will compare to your 30-second of how you feel about what we're doing and why this is important. That if Okay, Tamiko, we got to make this a whole campaign next week. Like getting people to just get on camera, because y'all know if you read a review on our website that's just words, you're gonna be like, that was cool, but did they really say that? Right? Like, is that really them? Is that really a person? So if you turn that camera on and give us 30 seconds or a minute, like that is priceless to us because we can push that out, and it's just so much more believable because it's not me or Tamika or somebody inside of the company talking about the benefits of it. is actual user talking about their experience with the company. Hey, and if you want to rave about our customer service, that always helps as well, because y'all know how they beat black companies up over customer service. We actually pride ourselves on our customer service and what we do. It's not perfect, but they definitely be working their tail off on that back end. So we appreciate them. So any shout outs to them as well always works. And y'all know our community is always skeptical. So if you hear, oh, they give excellent service, it's like, wow. Okay, well, let me give them a try, right? So that's all we're looking for. So I got to start making sure that I'm saying that a like and a share is definitely appreciated. Man, a testimonial is worth 1,000 words. So we definitely appreciate that. So thank you, Dr. Anita, and happy birthday again for that recommendation as well on that. But I appreciate y'all being here. I don't want to hold up too much of your time today. Y'all know we can go into the deep hours, right? Before grandma pulls out the sweet potato pie, because I know that's what I'll be waiting on. But she said she getting a little tired now. So she talking about, them folks ain't got to go home. You and your cousins, y'all can go out back or go down the street or something and enjoy yourself. But I appreciate y'all hanging out with us today here at Sunday Dinner. I'm not sure of the schedule moving forward just yet, but I know we are inching closer and closer to bringing it back. And we got some options for maybe it not just being Brother Freddie, right? Putting our formula together and allowing other people to host the discussions, which I think will strengthen the platform, right? Honestly. And Queen AJ actually volunteered, right? So our 17-year-old queen of the Sankofa Club has volunteered. She's really sharp. She's really interesting. So you may see the young sister, the youth out here leading our discussions and conversations. So I think that'll be a pretty cool experience as well. We used to bring some of the Sankofa Club members into the discussion anyway. So why not allow? They're used to running meetings. They're used to handling objections and all of that good stuff. So it would be really exciting to have that type of exposure, particularly having a conversation with the adults, right? So I'm really excited to consider something like that. It is on the plate, right? We are definitely thinking about it. And it's something that we can make sure that we can bring this space forward. She's expressed needing these types of conversations. I know how we all feel about them as well. So that's something that's on the plate. But yeah, so there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. I got to stay focused right now and make sure that we drive through this campaign to make sure we keep the company not only around, but moving forward so that we can get to this 2.0 version. I'm really excited about it. The team is excited and the community energy seems to be in the right place. So I thank y'all for being here this Sunday. Looking forward to another week with you. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can always email us at support@urbanintellectuals.com. That's support@urbanintellectuals.com. And oh man, thank y'all. I just appreciate y'all all the time, man. But this challenge, right, has been a blessing in disguise, right? Because it reminds us all of how important this work is and this space. It's giving me a new appreciation for our community and our audience. And I think our audience is having an appreciation for the work and the space that we've crafted and created. But I can just say this, the best is yet to come. And I'm really excited to bring the next step or the next iteration of this to you. I know the team is as well. And we go get to work on bringing back our daily Black History, right, on this day in Black History, brothers. So thank you for that. Right, we'll see you Sunday. Well, I'll see you all during the week. I'll be doing something all week, so just make sure you're staying tapped into your emails. Hey, if y'all not on Sankofa Universe, please jump over there because I will make sure that I'm dropping updates and things that are going on in and around the company there first. I'll be asking for some volunteers to work on our Facebook page. We need to hire a bunch of, we need to bring on a bunch of volunteers on the Facebook page to basically block and ban all these racist folks that stay and live in our comments. It is crazy, y'all. I think these folks are absolutely insane. So if you got some time or interest, just make sure you get down with us, and we're just looking. I mean, all you got to do is click ban. I'm not asking you to argue with them. I ain't asking you to go back and forth. Just ban, 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 ban. But we need to take control of that page. Tamiko, did you want to say something before we got out of here? I saw you raise your hand. I just kept talking. I'm sorry. Oh, maybe she left. I see you. I don't hear you though.
Freddie, while you're waiting for
Can you hear
Tamiko,
me? Okay.
I would just like to say thank you all for all of your help to urban intellectuals. Just know it's not in vain. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for that, sister. Go ahead, Tamiko.
Yes. So I just wanted to just remind everyone your donation to store.urbanintellectuals.com/defend. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Defend. Store.urbanintellectuals.com/defend. It unlocks your access pass to our Juneteenth event. Anyone knows that that has been around UI knows that we throw some pretty cool live events, and we're celebrating Juneteenth. So please make sure you lock your participation in with a donation of any amount. So I just wanted to leave with that.
Yes. All right. Thank you for that. We definitely appreciate you and your work. All right. So again, if you have any questions, you can always shoot us an email at support@urbanintellectuals.com. We'll be sure to follow up with you. And I'm going to stick around for just a moment. I got to read a comment. But I definitely appreciate y'all being here. Yeah, let's move forward into the future and let's have some fun, continue to build and do the work that we know that we all need. So until next time, good people, y'all know what it is. Love, peace, and power to the people. Thank y'all for being here. Appreciate y'all today.